I think one of the challenges facing small businesses is there are certain quirks, and we certainly had a couple of quirks to our business that felt that we couldn't go and buy off the shelf. The good news about technology is it has evolved to such an extent that there is much more flexibility, there are more options out there. But I would say to small businesses that so much time can be sucked up into wanting to potentially build a bespoke system, but actually if there's anything that can be bought off the shelf that you can refine, it's a much safer starting point, and you massively de-risk what could go wrong, because at least you're starting from a system that works rather than starting from the ground upwards.
So my name is Chris Tiernan. I am COO here at Enjoy Education, and it's basically my job to make sure that the company operates efficiently, that the people we have in our team are happy, and that I work very closely with the MD and CEO to make sure that we have a strategy for the future in place.
My name is Kate Shan. I'm CEO and founder of Enjoy Education.
We actually came across Cloud9 using a simple Google search. We invited a number of companies in to tender, and we were just really impressed with Cloud9 from the beginning. They were very quick to respond to all our questions. They took the time to understand our requirements. And I just feel like Cloud9 really got it and understood what we wanted.
Enjoy Education is, as you'd imagine, an education business. We work actually in the private tutoring sector. We provide schools advice and private tutoring to support students to be the best version of themselves. So if they are struggling or have lost a little bit of confidence, or even just want to up their game in preparation for any particular exams, we're here to provide that extra nudge or support to really be able to partner with our families to help children be happy, lifelong, resilient learners. And we firmly believe that every child we're able to influence can really have an impact on tomorrow's world.
We've had a number of CRMs in the business in the past. They've always been an important part of how we function, and the team use CRM on a daily basis to manage relationships with all our stakeholders, clients, tutors, etc.
I have had a very long relationship with CRM, and I would say it's not been a very happy marriage, and Microsoft has changed that. We have tried other providers, and we actually tried to build our own bespoke system. I think the major downfall to that is you're so reliant on people, and whilst I did have faith and trust in the fact they could actually build the system, it turns out they didn't actually have the expertise to build a system that would have been fit for purpose, to the extent that it wasn't actually able to save data. So you can imagine not an ideal situation when you're trying to build a global business.
It got to the point though where the business had evolved, and we needed quite a radical change in how we were using the CRM system, which is sort of what prompted the move. I think there were two main issues that we faced as a business that really prompted the move to Microsoft Dynamics. Our old CRM system was dated. It took quite a long time to run basic processes through it. It could take a few days to actually issue all of our invoices.
There are many different issues I think any growing business faces in order to recognise how important a CRM system is. First and foremost, it is so important to have a system that supports the day-to-day activities of the business. And then more importantly, as you're really trying to future-proof how you are able to really support your growth of the business, it is about recognising that yes, you need to invest in people, but importantly, and as importantly, you need to invest in your infrastructure to sustain that growth.
It was very unreliable. It felt like a black box. It wasn't very transparent, it would break down, and we were uncertain or unsure at times why it would do that, which obviously created a lot of business risk for us, and we desperately wanted to address both those points.
So yeah, I think it's really about a good amount of forward planning and recognising that it is a journey and it's something that is constantly evolving. It's not something you do once and it's forever perfect and done. It really is something that you have to invest in, both in terms of business resources, but also make sure you find the right partner. I think it's always challenging to manage the change process, moving from one provider or one system to another. I think as human beings, I think it's fair to say we're all fairly resistant to change. But I think, you have to embrace it, you have to do the training, you have to just get on board and just make it happen. So there is a certain amount of kind of just steamrolling it through. No matter how much preparation you put in, there is a D-Day where it's like, right, we are now moving systems. So I think it's just about preparing the team for that, but also, making some good decisions. You're not changing systems in your busiest quarter or week of the year. Obviously best if you can to pick a time or a moment where there is some kind of flex.
And what I really liked about Cloud9 was that they gave us a dedicated project manager. They gave us insightful advice along the process in terms of what steps needed to happen and in what order. I felt like they really partnered with us to understand what success would look like, and they helped us train up the team to make sure that the transition was as smooth as possible. I'm not going to lie, it was a very difficult process, but it was made a lot easier with the help from that Cloud9 provided. I think Dynamics has benefited our business in three main ways. The first thing is around flexibility. We have changed the way we've worked in the business recently. We've restructured the teams, and we're also faced with new sort of legal and regulatory requirements. And Dynamics has been able to evolve with us and adapt and change to new ways of working in ways that our old CRM systems couldn't do. Secondly, has to be the efficiency point. As I said earlier, it took a few days to actually get all our invoices out. Now we can get them all out in a couple of hours, which is great. And finally, I think the ability it's given us to manipulate data and draw insights from that data has been transformational. It's allowed us to make smarter strategic decisions and think about issues in ways that we just weren't able to with the sort of constraints of our old CRM system.
I would say that Dynamics has benefited our business by being a global player. I think it, hopefully does allow us to benefit from other people's expertise, other businesses who have had to deal with the same kind of, difficulties and pressures that we need to deal with, and how they have already walked that walk, so to speak. So I think that we can benefit from more of a group mentality and actually feel that we're slotting into that. I always think it feels so silly to be reinventing the wheel on something that, is effectively data, and we're not necessarily looking to be the most innovative CRM system. We're looking to be fantastically innovative in education. So it's also about recognizing where we want to put our time and energy. So I think we benefit from other people's expertise, and also just really thinking through how we want to move forwards with the system. The advice I would give to similar businesses is to really understand what you need. I think the spec, first and foremost, is critical. And that's not about going out and outsourcing that. It's really about sitting down with whatever team is appropriate and just really, from actually all levels of the business, understand what they need from the system. And actually, often it could be even the newest people in who can have more insight and interpretation and understanding of that, because they're less kind of used to the system, and therefore they probably ask more questions. So I think it's really important to engage everybody in that CRM process.
I would highly recommend that you properly scope out what you want from the CRM system. Don't just jump straight into it. Make sure you've really considered what success looks like, what you want your CRM system to do, how you want it to work, and then how you want it to be built. Don't just jump straight into it.
It's important then, once you have that spec, to then make sure that when you are looking for the partner who will build it, to really understand how they go about finessing it and really working with that spec, because everything ultimately will come back down to what do you need the system to do, what are your bigger goals, and if people understand that, then you're on a better journey than trying to make it too micro from the beginning.
I feel a lot more confident for the future now that we have Microsoft Dynamics in our business. First of all, there's something quite reassuring about having a Microsoft product that is obviously receives a lot of external investment, has a lot of users, and is constantly evolving and adapting and changing. I just feel like we're using technology that's sort of at the forefront and will be able to grow and adapt with us.
I think we all know that data is potentially the most important asset we have in terms of clients and what we're looking to do, obviously in an appropriate way. I think, mining that data is something we will be getting better and better at, and really understanding our customers' needs more and more. A CRM system is perfectly placed to do that, and I appreciate you to ask the right questions, so that is still in our court to get that information, but at the same time, it is about how you then work with that data. It's also about safeguarding for the future, because you need to have that data on board to be able to grow as a business. And I would say to companies that there needs to be a financial resource and obviously a budget, an appropriate budget put in place, because it is about really putting those foundations in place for future growth.
We found that it's been really easy to adapt and change Dynamics to suit new ways of working. So I have every confidence that we've picked the right system, and that Dynamics will be able to serve us well in the future.